Raila Odinga's lawyer, Paul Mwangi, has filed a suit to block the cabinet decision on the importation of genetically modified organisms in the country. In the petition, Odinga's advocate claimed the lift on the 10-year ban on GMOs was unconstitutional and a threat to food security in the country. And as Sam Ogina reports, lawyer Paul Mwangi alleges Kenya would become a food colony to foreign countries and multinational companies.
How are you?
The petition comes just days after the Azimio top brass Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka opposed the lifting of the ban on GMO imports into the country. Odinga's lawyer has petitioned the High Court to block the cabinet decision to allow the importation and usage of genetically modified foods in the country. If permitted, this, he said, was unconstitutional and would threaten food security in the country as it posed a danger to peasant farmers. In reversing the 10-year-old ban, the cabinet sought refuge on food security and raging drought to introduce fast-growing crops, drought and pest-resistant food and animal crops to address the phenomena. Lawyer Paul Mwangi claims the 2022 cabinet decision exposes the country to foods and crops not tested in the country, that in fact it opens floodgates against regulations that the 2012 ban on GMO imposed. The petitioner stated that in 2012, the ban on GMOs did not close the door on the use of biotechnology in Kenya, but rather closed the door on the introduction of foods not tested by local regulatory agencies. And that this paved way for the introduction of BT cotton as a cash crop in 2016 on trial basis and genetically modified cassava as a food crop in 2021 that is still undergoing trials in Kilifi, Murang'a and Busia counties. Lawyer Mwangi contends the 2022 cabinet decision was not to lift the ban on genetically modified foods, but rather effect a blanket uplift of all protocols controlling the introduction of genetically modified foods in Kenya that had been placed by the previous administrations. The petitioner also claimed Kenya risks the danger of having crops developed using genetic use restriction technology, GURT, a technology where seeds once grown, they commit suicide and thereby unable to be used again to be resown to germinate into a new crop. This to create a dependency on buying of fresh seeds every planting cycle. Odinga's lawyer warned that this was imperialistic and predatory that would make the country a food colony of foreign countries and multinational companies. In the petition, the petitioner contends that the lift on the GMO ban is a threat to food security to peasants and farmers in rural areas to access adequate food produced ecologically sound and sustainable methods. As such, lawyer Paul Mwangi wants the decision declared unconstitutional. Azimio has opposed President William Ruto's GMO decision, vowing to challenge the cabinet decision, claiming it would expose the country to health risks.
Kwa sababu ni kitu ambaye inahatarisha maisha ya wananchi.
Long-term effects of GMOs in Kenya outweigh the short-term benefits, if indeed there are any.
Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.